All right, so all right, we are live.
Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode. What episode is this?
226.
226.
I know, right?
But yes, welcome to episode 226 of Grown Women Gaming, and our usual suspects are here with an extra special guest. So we're gonna do our intros real quick, and then we're gonna introduce our special guest for today. So we're gonna start right below me, and first up we have is Lady.
Hey, good morning. Are we saying what we played this week? I'll make it quick.
Keep it short and sweet.
Elden Ring, Fortnite. I think that's it. Elden Ring, Fortnite, and Sekiro. That's it.
Sekiro.
All right. And then below Lady, we have our lovely Boogie. What we got, girl?
What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming through. It's LBOOGIE, and I've been playing tons of Dreamland or Dreamlight. I don't know why I want to call it Dreamland, but like, oh my God, every day now. Like since last week when CHAREECE was talking about it. Yeah. Oh my God. It's like Sims, like from when I was in like high school. But anywho, lots of Dreamlight and play some Fortnite. New season coming out tonight, I think. So I'll be playing that.
Do you know who developed that game, the Disney Dreamland game y'all playing?
Game Leaf,
yeah,
something
Game
like that. It's like
right?
It's like a G and an L, and it's like I can't remember. I see the logo, but I can't remember the name.
I got you.
Second.
Yeah, but they're good at live service games because I played a few others. Anyway, and below Boogie.
Loft. Sorry.
Game
Loft.
Oh yeah, they're really good. They're good. Yeah. Me. So yep, DELILAH HD here. I've been playing Ni no Kuni on Game Pass, baby. Yes, finally. And I played the Wulong demo.
I didn't get a chance to do that. I did download that.
Man, I done put like 4 hours in that Wulong demo.
I knew you would like that. You see, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, Delilah, look.
That's they got one.
Yeah.
The gameplay, the weapons, everything. I love it. It's
Is
a
it
Souls
like Elden Ring? Yeah.
It's a soul. Yeah, okay. It's like a Souls like Elden Ring because you can run past the bosses. You could tell they stole some cues from Elden Ring. So I'm like, okay, this is one of those. And all the animations are really good. So
I'm excited now because that's what I was hoping for. I'm not a real Souls person. Like Elden Ring was like nice.
Yeah. But definitely download it. It's a lot of fun. And then I mean, you could say they took a lot of time doing all the animations and different combat art styles and stuff. So check that out. So yeah, that's me.
All right, and of course it's your girl CHAREECE here. I am on vacation right now. I took a break from my vacation just to come speak to y'all. So be thankful. Because there's literally a beach right outside my window. Yes. And at the very bottom, last but especially not least, we have our very special guest. I'm sure everybody knows of him. Because if you don't, you must not have been online for very long. But I'm gonna let him introduce himself. So please tell the folks who you are and how we should know you.
Okay, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me here. I really appreciate the invite to be on. My name is Parris Lilly. I'm a co-host over at Gamertag Radio, and I'm also over at Kinda Funny as a co-host on the Kinda Funny Xcast. You might know me on Twitter because I talk a lot about a lot of different things when it comes to gaming. Yeah, and I'm in spaces causing trouble as well. But again, thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
No, thank you for coming. You know, we was ready for you. We was stalking you for a little bit. But yes, so now that we got our introductions out the way. Oh, wait. What did you play this week?
So that I can talk about.
That's that.
I mean, you can just tell us the whole list.
Right? No.
Cyberpunk 2077. That I can talk about, but there's a couple other things I've been playing that very soon people will know, and I think people will be really happy about as well.
Okay, we'll take it. Okay. All right, then. Let's see. We're gonna start off with as usual, since we have a guest, and he is a brand new guest to the show. We're gonna do a little interview with him. Nothing too major, and then we're gonna jump into our topics afterwards. So, are you ready, sir?
I am.
Sweet. But yeah, so I got my notes over here, so give me a minute. I told you we were stalking. But yes, so apparently Gamertag Radio, around the launch of the original Xbox, you joined, Danny started that, but you joined years later. Do you have any history of that? Especially, what is this Uncle Gamer? Because I don't know about that, but apparently Delilah does. So what is that? Explain like your history.
Yeah, actually, the Uncle Gamer ties into everything with Gamertag Radio and Danny Pena, Godfrey. So Gamertag Radio has been around since 2005, and Danny Pena, Godfrey, started it with his brother Nano, and I was just a fan listening to it back then, right? Because I remember a quick story. He got the people when they launched the 360, they had like this big event in Hollywood, right? And they had pre-taped it. And he got basically, I guess we call them now creators or whatever, right? That got to play Perfect Dark Zero. He got them on the show before the actual reveal came out, right? He got them on Gamertag Radio, and they were saying like everything about Perfect Dark Zero. And I remember listening to this, and Microsoft made them take it down, but I remember listening to this, and I go, man, this is cool, this podcast stuff, right? So I was a big fan, and I would listen. And then in 2006, there was a Lord of the Rings event up in Redmond at Microsoft, and Danny and another podcaster at the time, Chris Palladino, he did DreamStation.cc. They were at this event, and I'm watching this video, and I go, "Oh my God, you can go to Xbox because of games." So I hit up one of my good friends, and I said, "You know what? I want to do this podcasting thing too." So what I did was I reached out to Danny and I reached out to Chris, and we asked for advice on how to podcast. This is probably around like May or June of 2006, right?
Wow.
And Chris got back to me first, but then Danny got back to me as well. And they basically helped me to learn how to podcast, the equipment you need, microphones, all that stuff. So I started a podcast called Uncle Gamer Radio. And I did that.
How did you come up with the name?
Get the name.
Where did the name come from?
Right.
All the good ones were taken, and that was the only one that was available. Seriously, I'm being serious. We kept going through all these names, and every time we looked for the website, it was like it was already taken. Right. So then someone suggested, "Why don't you just call yourself Uncle Gamer?" And it was available. We're like, all right, let's do that. So that's how the name came about. But we started that podcast. This was like July, August of 2006, up in there somewhere, wow. And did that from 2006 to 2011, and Gamertag Radio ties into this because, again, Danny was a great mentor to me over the years and helped me out a lot and collaborate together, meet up at E3, do all this stuff. So we were friends that entire time. So when I stopped doing Uncle Gamer in 2011, because my co-host took a job at EA, I was like, I'm retired. I'm good. I wasn't going to podcast anymore. And because I was still friends with Danny and Peter Toledo, other co-hosts at Gamertag Radio, they had me come on there in 2013 for BioShock Infinite because I love the game and to talk about it. And they got a great reception from that. Pete reaches out to me one Saturday morning and goes, "Hey, why don't you join full time?" And I was kind of hesitant at first, like, I don't know if I want to do that. I'm good, kind of thing. And I said, I'll see what I can do. I can't promise I'm gonna be on every week, stuff like that, right? And turns out I've been on ever since. And that, like I said, that was March, April of 2013, up in there somewhere. And here we are today. We're at this point, we've been doing it so long and we've been friends for so long over the years. It's not even about, we do a podcast. It's just, we're basically family at this point. And anyone that follows us on Twitter can obviously see our back and forth. But Danny's more than just a friend. He's like a brother, same with Pete. And, we just have a lot of fun doing it. And it's just amazing, where doing that podcast has just taken us over the years. So very thankful and grateful for that.
Like these are my ladies right here, but this is my family. So
yes, exactly. Yes. That's how it should be.
Yes. That's why this doesn't feel like we're talking about games. We're just sitting around chatting about our favorite activity. So I feel that on that part. So next question. We're going to go through a little word association here, I guess. Apparently you are a host of a lot of things, or you've been involved with a lot of things. Xbox host, kudos to you. Kind of funny, XCast, and unofficial Cyberpunk 2077 spokesperson. How did you explain your journey to that. Like, did you just wake up one day it's like, I want to be Xbox host, or did you like have gradual steps to it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm obviously very passionate about gaming, and I talk a lot, so I think both of those helped. I don't know, just being vocal and again, just over the years, Danny, Pete, and I, we're always hustling. We're always, you know, trying to look for that next opportunity. Ironically enough, that Xbox opportunity came about because I said something. I said something online about, hey, I would love to, because, you know, this was during the pandemic and everything. I would love an opportunity to host something, whatever. And I had hosted the launch event for Cyberpunk on Twitter Gaming. So that kind of gave me a little bit of experience being able to do that. But yeah, the Xbox one was my first big opportunity. I'm in front of a camera and going through all that. So I'm, again, very thankful to Microsoft and Xbox reaching out to me for that. But, you know, just trying to be consistent with my craft. And I won't even pretend that I think I'm the best at anything, but, you know, it's, you know, I love gaming. I try to stay knowledgeable and educated on the industry and stuff that's going on. And I guess allegedly I got a good voice for it. So it all just kind of
it's a nice radio voice. How about that?
Yeah, that's what people tell me. Yeah. But yeah, it all just lined up, you know, just like I try to tell people all the time, you know, I feel very fortunate and I feel very lucky for the opportunities that have happened. And a lot of these big ones have only happened more recently in the past few years. Mm-hmm. But to the point, I've been at this since 2006. Mm-hmm. So it's not like I just woke up one day and I was like, yep, I'm going to do this. And I just walked in the door and it happened. It took a lot of years of building relationships and trying to do the right thing in this industry, you know, talking about gaming and just going through all the ups and downs of it. And most importantly, staying consistent with it. The fact that, you know, we've been doing this consistently for all this time, I think has helped. And like I said, I think one of the more important things is building those relationships, getting to understand, you know, how the industry works and getting to know people in PR and marketing and developers and, you know, creative directors, just everything, where it all just kind of culminates to the point where we are now, where we're able to have these type of opportunities. But there's a lot of hard work and a lot of grinding and hustling that definitely goes into all of it.
So would it be safe to say that you didn't like really see the fruits of that labor until you reached out? Because you said that's how you got some of your opportunities. I mean, do you think that if you would have reached out sooner, could these things have popped off? Because you said you was already building relationships.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's actually a very good question. I think the pandemic, ironically enough, helped give me an opportunity because, you know, I have a day job. So I got a family to take care of, the whole thing. So I can't necessarily always travel to different events and do all these things, because before the pandemic, you had to be actually in the studio doing this stuff where you didn't have the opportunity to do a lot of this stuff from home. Yeah. So that actually helped me a lot because it set a foundation that I could appear on doing more things because it was remote. Whereas in the past, I'd have to turn something down because I can't necessarily fly to San Francisco or fly to New York because I got to go to work tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Right. So that helped. So I honestly, I don't think some of these opportunities would happen. Like I'll give you a great example of it. Ryan McCaffrey over at IGN, I feel like I owe a lot to him as well, because back in 2020, he had me come on Podcast Unlocked, and it was just him and I for that episode. And we had a great conversation that day. It was great feedback that came from that. And what came out of that was IGN then invited me to be a part of their Xbox show for the launch of the Series X when that came out. I got to host that, and then I also got to host a Night City Wire on IGN as well. That never would have happened if I had to go up to San Francisco to be in studio to be with Ryan. And it was actually just dumb luck because Ryan needed someone to fill in, and I last minute came on. So to that point of what you're saying, no, actually I don't think, like me doing the Xbox thing and all that, I don't think that would have happened prior to 2020, because I just think that the opportunity wouldn't have been there for me.
Yeah, and I remember like during that time. So go ahead, Boogie, if you want to go ahead.
I was just going to say, no, because I think that your question that I'm keeping in this area. So go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because I remember 2020 and like a lot of these gaming media sites, and a lot of these media outlets were doing these diversity pushes and whatnot. And so I do remember that, like, a lot of people being featured as hosts on those sites. So yeah, go ahead, Boogie. I'm sorry.
Did you want to comment, Eric? It looked like you did.
I know. I have a part two.
Well, I was just going to say on your diversity thing, and maybe we might get into a bigger conversation about this later, but yeah, I remember that stuff too, and there more needs to be done. I kind of think we're going to have a bigger conversation about this, so I'll hold on to it, but I do remember when that was happening, and here we are in 2022. Are you still seeing those same things happen? But we can talk about that more later.
I have a part two to the question. What so far has been your favorite hosting gig? Like,
it was the Xbox one. It was definitely the Xbox one, because that was such an amazing opportunity, and I'd never done anything like that before. So and to be honest with you, I didn't even know what to expect until they were literally calling me to walk out on stage, and I'm like, oh my God, is this really happening? Kind of thing. So having that experience and learning how, the behind the scenes stuff, how the production of a show works, and writing scripts and having to read off a teleprompter, knowing your cues and when to look at a different camera, like all those things, knowing when in the moment to improvise off of what you may not necessarily have on a teleprompter because it flows better in the conversation. Learned all those lessons learned that came out of that is something that I'm very appreciative of. And the fact that Xbox actually asked me to do it a second time I was like, oh wait, I guess I didn't screw up too much. And then actually, I take it back. You know what? Actually, my favorite thing was what I just did back in May for this last showcase for Extended, when I did the flight simulator thing, and I went out to DC, and I got to fly a helicopter. That was probably the craziest thing I've ever done.
Hey. You literally got to move the controls and everything.
When and it's so funny because there's so much footage that you didn't get to see that I filmed. But at one point, I'm legitimately flying that helicopter because he gave me a quick lesson on how to do it. And of course, I don't know how to land or take off, but in the air, I'm controlling it and moving around, and I'm saying all this, improvised stuff. But yeah, I never got to see it. I actually honestly would love to see how that goes, which, a quick story on that, you would be amazed at the production of being able to film me in that helicopter and have a microphone and a camera on me all at the same time. There's 3 people that were behind me doing that were in the production staff, and they're just crammed in there like sardines, and they had to go through all these gymnastics to get the camera on me in the front in the cockpit. So it's just crazy stuff like that you get to see behind the scenes that you'll never actually see, when you're watching the final product.
So I think that's a good segue to what I wanted to ask, was if you see yourself continuing to do more of that, like
I would love to.
I
mean, I'll be fully honest. Yeah, I would love to have more opportunities to do that. I mean, clearly nothing is promised that I will, but if the opportunity came again, absolutely, I would love to do it.
Yeah, so
nice.
You're open to it. He's like putting his, card out.
He's bidding. He's putting his bidding. That's what it is.
Right.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
I know, right? Put it out in existence and it'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Next question on our interview. You're still calm. We haven't got to the hard questions yet. We haven't got to the hard one. What is your favorite game, and is it still Cyberpunk?
My favorite, to be honest with you, Cyberpunk's never been my favorite game.
Oh.
No, I mean,
wait.
Yeah, your favorite game at the moment.
At the moment.
Yeah,
right now.
Wait, what's my favorite game in the moment right now?
In the moment. Came out in the last, that you've been playing for the last 6 months. I don't know.
Oh, that's a good question. What is my favorite game right now?
This is supposed to be an easy question.
No, because I mean, I've been lucky enough again to be able to review games and play so many different things. I always go back to Destiny 2 because that's the consistent thing that I always play. So yeah,
y'all got it, man.
Wait. No, I have to ask now. So how do you feel about their direction right now? And I say this because I probably brought most of the girls into Destiny, and now I'm not playing it because I feel like it's getting very repetitive as far as the seasons. It's like the same, we're doing the same thing. We may be in a different world, we maybe have a different landscape, but you're essentially doing the same work over and over. So how do you feel?
They're in an interesting spot because it's funny. Like my son, who was hardcore playing it with me, doesn't play anymore because similar to what you're saying. And I know other people have that same sentiment. They're in an interesting spot because they're clearly transitioning what the game is and how it works and just all the different activities and the way the workflow of it and everything. Where Destiny is going from what it had been the previous 6 or 7 years into they're basically making this a full-on MMORPG.
Yes.
And they're trying to create where there's this consistent flow of content that's coming in, like the exact opposite of what's happening with Halo Infinite right now, right? Where they don't have the content, where Destiny is trying to make sure you consistently every few months know you're going to get some type of content or a new activity. I think what we're seeing right now with Witch Queen is as they transition into Lightfall, I think that because you could see it even in that presentation where, all right, this is where we want the game. This is the ultimate vision that we've always had for the game. If you've ever seen some of the stuff that Luke Smith has talked about way back in the day about Destiny, they're kind of getting there now, right? So I'm with you on the fact that, yeah, we're repeating a lot of stuff. You know, we were kind of playing the greatest hits, like bringing King's Fall back and stuff like that. They're obviously upgrading the subclasses now to get them more where you can customize your build basically of how your Guardian's going to be. They're still trying to figure out the weapon crafting stuff to find a right balance in that. We know PvP is just a hot mess. I've almost given up on that, but I still love the game.
Yeah.
I've always felt like it's that consistent, like I said, it's that consistent thing that's in my life that it's like the comfort food. I always know I can roll back into Destiny and there's something in there that I enjoy doing versus, I don't know, I'm just using Halo as an example where I'm like, man, can I get one new map, please? Can I get something? You know, a new activity. Even with and again, that's the thing with Destiny. Even if you don't like it, and I'm not necessarily digging the season either, but even if you don't like the season that you have right now, at least you know there's going to be another season that's coming that's going to try something different that might engage me and I can have fun with. So that's kind of my thought on it. But I do get people right now are kind of having some fatigue with it, where I think Witch Queen launched pretty strong, but we're kind of in this lull right now. And hopefully by the time we get to Lightfall, they'll really have the game. So obviously this is what they're trying to do, have the game in this unique spot where it feels fresh again. Like I always tell people, I'm surprised they haven't dropped the 2 and just call it Destiny because we're playing Destiny 3 right now. And that's kind of the thing. It's surprising, but I almost feel like maybe there's something unique they might do in the Destiny universe to where they want to call that Destiny 3 versus what we're doing right now.
So I got a second part to that too, the whole Destiny thing. How do you feel about the acquisition with Sony acquiring Bungie?
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it because nothing changes for me. I can still play it wherever I want, so it doesn't matter. Ultimately, I mean, that was the one thing that, and again, I don't have no inside info, just on the outside looking in, it seems pretty clear that Bungie would not have, or PlayStation wouldn't have been able to acquire Bungie without certain prerequisites in place. And obviously one of them was, we're still going to make games for all platforms. We still are almost an independent entity versus the rest of PlayStation Studios, but we're going to come in and share our knowledge of making a live service game with some of your other studios, because it's pretty clear what PlayStation's plan is, since they want to have 10 more live service games. Because again, that's the one thing about Bungie and with Destiny. They're really, Fortnite and Apex aside, they're really the only ones that have successfully done this live service stuff. That's right. And obviously that knowledge is very valuable, and clearly Sony valued it because they want to make more live service games. So that's why you acquire Bungie, to bring them in. But from a gamer standpoint, I mean, nothing's changing. So no, it doesn't bother me at all.
Cool. All right. Well, part 3 of the question, who do you play as? Like Warlock, Titan?
It's funny. I'm a Titan main.
Whereas, okay.
Let me tell the whole story. I was a Warlock main in Destiny 1. I played, that was my thing. I loved being a Warlock all through Destiny 1. And then when Destiny 2 came out, I remember, because I was fortunate enough to be able to review it, and I was like, you know what, let me try Titan. And I started playing as a Titan. I was like, wait, I kind of like this. I think I'm gonna be a Titan. And I've been a Titan ever since. But I'll never be a hunter. Never ever. You look at my achievements on Destiny, not one anything for a hunter. Same. I'll never be a hunter. Yeah.
We do a lot of hunter jokes in our
Like I have one. I have a hunter, but
the hunter gets no love.
He gets no love.
You got 2 Titans and 2 Warlocks in this the four
Warlock gang. But yes. So now we're gonna move, I guess, to some of our tougher questions. Hey, it is what it is. But as you can see, we are all of the darker complexion here.
Yes.
What are some of your struggles as a Black man in the gaming space? Like, of course, we have expressed ours as Black women, but what is yours as a Black man?
There's not enough of us, and that's number one. There's not enough of us doing this, and even the ones that are out there doing it don't get enough of a spotlight, because there's some really talented people out there, people of color out there that are doing stuff in the gaming space, and they're not getting the engagement or the audience that they deserve. If I have another complaint, and it's something that I go through, how am I trying to explain this? Like, I got the Xbox opportunity, right? You know, I'm on Kind of Funny, and you know, I've had all these great opportunities to do stuff, and it's frustrating that it's almost held. How am I trying to explain this exactly? It's almost held against me that I have an opportunity to do something and then not being able to bring more people along with me. That's probably my biggest frustrating thing. Of whereas stop picking like again, let me say the Xbox thing. Like, I was so happy that Aaron got to host Extended instead of me, because I've had the opportunity now. Let someone else do it. Let someone else. Not only is she a woman, but she's a woman of color. That's very important, because I think we need to see more of us doing these things. Is going to inspire more of us to want to do these things. But at the same time, the Xboxes, the EAs, the PlayStations, the 2Ks of the world, y'all got to give us those opportunities as well. Like I said, it's a weird thing where I feel very lucky that I got the chance to do it. And part of me having the chance to do it was because I was very conscious in thinking this. I was like, don't F it up. Please don't F this up. And the reason I say that is because if I would have F'd it up, guess what? Well, they can't do it. Let's just go back to the standard. Let's just go back. You're right. So it's very important that when one of us does get the opportunity, that and it sucks that it's this way. I guess this is what I'm trying to say. It sucks that I always feel like I need to be twice as better than
that's always
the next person.
That's always,
because if I'm not, then I'm not going to get that opportunity again, and more of us are not going to get that opportunity as a result.
But
and that sucks. And it sucks that I have to feel that way. Say again. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, don't you feel that way even in your
day job?
What?
Were you gonna say like day job, like every day?
Yeah, in your day job. Yeah, your everyday work, like, because you work in corporate America, right?
Yeah,
so and
that's where the mentality comes from. Right. So I'm actually glad you said that, because that'll lead me into another thing where I think at least something is trying to help change this. Like, I work in cybersecurity. I've been doing it, God, since 2005, right? And I joke around like I'm a unicorn. Like, you know, the Spider-Man meme where they point at each other. Whenever I've gone to like a training or a seminar or whatever, and I see another brother doing it, we always look at each other and point, because it's very rare that you see us doing this. And part of that is not enough of us are getting into STEM to have that opportunity. And even when you do have the ones that are getting into STEM and does have the skill set to be able to do stuff like this, are they getting the opportunity to do it? Or are they being stuck in these lower tech jobs instead of having the opportunity, you know, to actually show off their things? And again, I think in our communities, we're not encouraging enough of us to do it. Like, I'm always on my son about learn how to code. Learn to code.
I heard you say that on XCast about telling your son learn how to code. Because I used to be a developer and I transitioned to design.
Yeah.
So there's other fields he can do to kind of cultivate that.
Yes. I feel like you still need to learn how to code just because of having that technical knowledge, having the knowledge of logic, right? Because like people don't understand that, you know, computers are all built on logic and you have to be able to understand principles of logic, right?
Yes.
Because I'm in IT as well. And I tell my daughter the same thing. I'm like, I love that you love graphic design, but let's also learn how to code a little bit. You know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I'm not saying you need to be a full-on software engineer and that's all you do, because trust me, that stuff is boring. I don't want to do that. Right. But to your point, the fundamentals of it, the foundation of it is going to carry you into other fields that you would want to pursue and things that would interest you. And that's why I think, you know, like I said on XCast, get them early, get them into this stuff early, because the earlier you get them into it, it becomes second nature to them. And it doesn't feel like, oh, this is boring, this is work, I don't want to do this, this sucks, I want to do something else. It just becomes a core, you know, a core, I'm blanking on the word, but a core thing that they have, you know, in their bag, so to speak, that'll help them moving forward. But going back to your question, I mean, as a Black man in this space, another frustrating thing that I get online, I'm just going to keep it real on here, is, and some of you that may have been in spaces I've been in, I've talked about this here. You know, the most hate I get is from us, and it kills, and it kills me. It kills me that happens. It's so, you know, it's very disappointing to me because they don't understand the conversations that I have had behind the scenes talking about us and getting us more opportunities. Like I should be sitting in the cyberpunk yellow chair right now, because to me, that's a classic example of this. I get so much crap because I was excited about cyberpunk and I got an opportunity to host something and they gave me a marketing thing, as if that has completely compromised my integrity, or the fact that I did host the Xbox show, that it compromises my integrity, or how dare I have an opinion about something on play. You know, it's like all these weird things, and all the hate I seem to get, or the majority of it, seems to be from us.
It's like crabs in a bucket, right?
Yeah, it really is. It's crabs in a barrel in that. I mean, you know, I don't engage with it. I try to ignore it for the most part, but I do see it. I do see it, and every time I see it, it's disappointing, because my thought is, number one, you don't know me. I know it's the internet. People say crazy stuff on the internet, but you don't know me, and you don't understand, as I was alluding to previously, all the hard work that had to go in to even get to this point, to have said opportunities, or even once I've now gotten these opportunities, how I'm trying to pay it forward. Just like Danny helped me back in 2006, I'm trying to help other people get these same opportunities. Yeah, and that's him. Yeah. That's what he does. And I'm so thankful that he came into my life when he did, because he instilled that in me to say, hey, it ain't always about you trying to hoard every opportunity that you get and not share, or this is a competition, whatever. It's okay to see other people do things, because if you're good at what you do, those opportunities are going to come to you anyways. And I think that's another thing that people need to understand, is it's like when people come to me and say, hey, how do you get, like, let me tell this story, and I know I'm all over the place, but when
you're fine.
When I was at the Xbox showcase in LA during Summer Game Fest, right? You know, and they had Fan Fest. So there's a ton of people there. You know, I'm walking around. I was actually with Khalif. I know you guys know Khalif, but I'm with me and Khalif are walking, and you know, you got all these people in line, and people were coming up to us, and they were saying, hey, you know, I've seen you on this, I've seen you got to do that, you know, thankful, want to take a picture, shake the hand. And a question I kept getting a lot was, during the whole Fan Fest thing, was, how do you get into this? I want to start my own podcast. I want to do this. What's some tips that you can give me? And the thing that I tell everybody is, you know, start with whatever you got. If it's just your phone and the raggedy mic on here, whatever you got, just start doing it, because early on, it's not going to matter what equipment you got or how many people, because no one's going to be watching you. The only people that's going to be watching you early on is you, your friends, your mama, and your auntie. That's it. No one else, because no one knows who you are. So take that time to get in the reps, to get better at what you do. Because if you go back and listen to the podcast I did in 2006, it's terrible, because I know what I was doing. It took a long time for me to get to this point and have the confidence level to be able to talk on a mic and be able to improvise, or be in front of a camera and do all this kind of stuff. So take those early days to learn the craft, build the skill set on it so you can get good at what you do. And then the other advice I give is be consistent. If you're doing a podcast every week, do it every week. If you're doing it once a month, do it every month. So the audience that you do get, they know what they can anticipate and know when an episode is coming out, and you'll build that way. And then the other advice that I was given at this fan fest was, I was like, do exactly what you're doing right now, is go to events, meet people in person. You know, obviously the pandemic was weird stuff, but the more opportunities that you get to be face to face with people and again, build those relationships over time, that's when the opportunities come. Because I'll give you another quick story. My first gaming event was because, and as I mentioned him before, Chris Palladino, he was doing a podcast. He wound up getting a job at Xbox. And when he got the job at Xbox, this was 2007, he invited me to the Crackdown event that they had. That was my first community event opportunity. I know what the hell I was doing, but because him and I had built a relationship over the years, and he obviously trusted me, he invited me to this event when honestly I had no reason to be there, honestly, but he invited me anyways. And it was because I was at that event, I got to meet more people at Microsoft, and I got to start building these relationships, and then open up stuff with EA and on down the list. And, here we are. But it's like, you never know when that opportunity is going to come around the corner, and you never know the person. The other thing I always try to say is, the person that you slight today, you never know when you're going to need them tomorrow. Right. Yeah. So try and treat people. And look, I'm not perfect on this, and there's stories I can even tell on that, but I try to show people the respect that I want in return. So, because again, you never know when it's going to come back around. And now all of a sudden you're the person looking to that person for advice or needing them for something. And, have there been mistakes made by me over the years? Of course there have. But for the most part, I try to, especially now, is treat everybody the same. Like, you ever heard me in the space on a podcast, my opinion is no better than anybody else's. It's just, I've been lucky enough that people pay attention to my opinion. That's it. That's the only thing. But the dumb stuff I say online is the same dumb stuff I would say whether I had a podcast or not, but I try to be consistent with it. And, when someone does disagree with me or someone does come at me, as long as you're respectful, we can have that dialogue. Right. But the minute you're disrespectful to me, I'm out. I'm gone. And I think if we had more people that had that mentality, I think, this whole gaming industry as a whole would be a better place.
Yeah, and the list that you said, as far as like having integrity, being consistent, and just starting somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. I know that's kind of like the list that we founded our show on. We always talked about being consistent and showing up every week. Now we're 200 and something episodes in, and then we've been doing this for a long time. And it's interesting because you talk about supporting us and supporting each other. We still struggle with that as far as getting support from other podcasts and collaborating with people. We invite people, and some people, they'll either say they'll come on and then flake on us or something. So we deal with that too. And you're right. It's sad to say it. It's usually us.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep it 100 right now. When y'all reached out to me about come on, absolutely, I'm gonna come on because it's us. Mm-hmm. So of course I'm gonna come on because I feel that's important, because I say no a lot. I'm like, no, okay. I'm good. But to me, this was important to be on because that's the whole point. We got to help each other with this stuff. Okay. We can't, because if we're not helping each other, who the hell going to help us? Right? That's where it all starts.
That's real. Yeah. I think we all have that Issa mentality. I root for everyone Black. Yeah. And it's not to say we don't root for other people. It's just that we have to uplift each other.
No, we 100% do. And I'll just say this without saying names, but trust me when I tell you that there are certain people in high places that see this too, and they understand what the struggle is, and they're trying to make this a more diverse and inclusive industry. So we do get more opportunities. Like I'll tell you just straight up, seeing Sarah Bond.
Okay.
Is very in the position that she's in, and to see how visible she's made herself and open to the community. Like, she's active on Twitter and all that. I was lucky enough when I was up there that I got to meet her and have private conversations with her and the whole thing. And she's genuine. She's 100% genuine. Like, this isn't an act. for her. It's like she truly means all the stuff that she says. And I even have told her directly, I go, you don't realize how important you are in this industry. And she's like, what do you mean? You're a Black woman who is in a high position at Xbox.
VP.
Trust me, we see.
Right.
We see.
And deserves to be there, because people who try to act like she doesn't deserve to be there. Like, she has a pedigree for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't handed to her. She absolutely earns where she is. I mean, you think about all the stuff that we've seen with Game Pass and all that stuff. That's her. Because I told her the first time I saw her, whatever E3 that was, and she was on stage. It was me and Khalid were together. We're like, oh, like we got excited because of, oh my God, one of us is actually in this position to be able to do this. So we need more of her. We need more Sarah Bonds in this industry.
The board,
yeah, because if we don't have representation at the leadership level, then how can we expect anything to change?
Right.
Yeah, because it's still sad. 'Cause I still in the game industry, I think we're still like at 1%, 1-2%.
Yeah.
So it's
like less than 1%.
And it's very lopsided because we make 40% of the purchases. So it's like you're not representing your customer when we're not in those spaces. So it's very weird. But yeah. Anything else, Charisse?
Oh no, I was letting y'all talk because I was enjoying the conversation.
Yeah, I think we actually were able to wrap up 2
I would say that was 2 questions in one.
Yeah.
So yes, I was enjoying it. But yeah, if y'all are finished, we'll move on to our next question. Let's see. Oh, this is the hard questions. These are the hard questions. So you got the easy ones out the way.
Yeah, she just said that, but these ones.
These are the hard ones. All right. What are your top 5 favorite games and or franchises of all time? You only get 5. We're not even gonna do honorable mention. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
Super Mario Brothers 3, because this is the greatest game ever made.
3. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 2.
Okay.
Mega Man 2. Yeah, you probably like, what? The Witcher 3.
That was good.
Yeah, Witcher 3 is great.
Thank you.
No, I'm saying hard too.
Because you said not honorable mention, so I'm trying to.
He's narrowing it down. He's narrowing it down in his mind.
I'm gonna say The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Woo. Yeah, that's on mine.
For me.
That's one of my. That's on mine.
Yeah. One of mine too.
I guess I'll let that.
How do you feel? How do you feel about the new game? Because I don't like the weapon breaking. Just throws me off. Like I can't. Yeah, Breath of the Wild. How do you feel about that?
The new one.
I mean, I enjoyed Breath of the Wild. I mean, I understand why people, enjoy it. Are so obviously very excited about, like, even with the sequel coming out. I mean, it's okay. It's not necessarily the thing that, like, when I think great Zelda games, is it even in my top 3? I don't think it is, because I would say Ocarina of Time, I would say Link to the Past, and then I would say Majora's Mask. And then I would say Link's Awakening.
It's greatest hits.
Yeah.
I've played none of these games, people.
Oh my gosh, Charisse.
How do we just know this?
I'm with you, Charisse.
Thank you, lady. Thank you.
Y'all missing out. Y'all are really missing out. There's some
really though?
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think so. Okay. Tough question again. What is your favorite food? Why he look like he's like
hey, I love to eat, so a lot. That's a lot of food.
We like to eat too, so that's why we asking. We like to try new things, and we like to, see what everybody else is. We might give us some ideas for dinner tomorrow.
We cook and we like food, and so
it definitely been some times that we had some guests here, and they said something that said, "Okay, well, let me Uber that after the show."
Yeah. So. I'll tell you what my favorite meal that I can unfortunately no longer have, and it would be my mother's fried chicken and mashed potatoes. That sounds good. that would definitely be it. I mean, I'm a big seafood guy. I would probably say, there's so many choices. I would probably.
Is he gonna say shrimp and grits?
Well, hey,
yours did look good this week, Boogie.
That too. Honestly, because I'm from the South. I'm from Florida.
Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody.
No, That's right, all day.
I'm a Falcons fan.
So. Proud. They're proud.
Recently, he left Florida.
Yeah, he left though. He left. So
I did. Honestly, probably my favorite food ever is probably a fried grouper sandwich. Yeah, I would say that if I was on death row and they said, "What's your last meal?" It would probably be that. Yeah,
that's definitely a Florida thing, right? Like, because I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So last question for you. This is a discussion that we was having before you jumped into the chat with us.
Okay.
So we like to cook. We also like to grill. Gas or charcoal?
It's charcoal.
Okay.
It's not even a question.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Thank you, Jesus.
Okay, because I was skeptical at first because I was like, I hope you don't say no propane.
Yeah, we was like,
everybody sitting here like this.
We was real quiet up here.
I just told you I'm from Florida. We ain't no gas.
Oh my God.
Gas. I didn't know what a gas grill was till I came out to California. They're like, "Oh, you just plug it into the gas." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, you cook on the stove for that.
Yeah.
You're wrong out there with that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. You gonna do the second half of the question?
Oh, hold on.
Well, I added a second half, which was, do you plan on posting your food on Instagram so that we can really see the comparison between you and Khalif Adams? Like, let the people decide.
Okay, let's settle something once and for all with this whole Khalif thing.
Okay.
I have repeatedly over the years posted, like, when I'm smoking some ribs or like anything that I'm smoking or cooking. I bake a cake. I'll put it on Instagram. I'll put it on Twitter. People can actually see me make food. We ain't never seen this man make anything, ever. There is no comparison. There is no comparison. The only thing I've ever seen him post online is something burnt. That's it.
Oh, you gotta do him like that now.
Oh, have you not seen this man online? I will literally be minding my own business, and all of a sudden a tweet will just come out of nowhere where he's just trying to roast me something. And that's the other hilarious thing about this whole cooking rivalry. Again, I have evidence I can cook. He'll show nothing. Nothing. He just yip, and actually shows nothing at all. Where I can bake, I can do on the smoker, I can grill up something. I can, fry. Like, I've shown consistently a broad range that I know how to cook where he's done nothing. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
What is your favorite thing to grill, Parris?
Probably my favorite thing to grill would probably be like a good steak.
A good steak?
Yeah.
Will we see a cook-off between you two one day?
One day, for sure. And I'm going to keep it real about this again. We've agreed we're not going to do this cook-off unless it's sponsored by somebody. Like,
okay,
there needs
you know what? Get that bag. Get that bag.
Yeah, we're not going to give this away for free. And I'm not saying that to be greed as far as greed goes, but we've talked this up so much, and we have so many people in the industry that's anticipating it. We got to pay it off in a big way. We've honestly talked about potentially doing something like at a PAX, right? Where, obviously a lot of community is going to be there. People in the industry is going to be there to where it would make sense. But yeah, we want something where there's like a venue, it's sponsored. We got all the right equipment, like everything. So it'll make sense. Yeah. So it can make it a big deal.
I will pay for that.
It sounds like E3 2023.
Very well could be. I'll tell you a little inside baseball stuff. It almost happened.
Oh, okay.
I won't. Actually, I will say. I will say because she's not there anymore. G4 was going to do it, and we were going to do it on G4 when they were originally launching. And because they were going to do like their whole summer outside thing, like we're going to do it up in Burbank, the whole thing. Nice. And we had a couple people that was absolutely on board to sponsor it, make sure we had all the equipment and everything that we needed. And then unfortunately scheduling stuff and all that, it didn't happen. And we haven't done it.
Right.
But
televised.
But I will tell you one thing that really it made me laugh, and I was like, wow, this has really reached the highest of high places.
Yeah.
Phil Spencer himself to my face brought it up about the cook-off thing. I was like, oh my God. I go, okay. I go, this has reached the top of the top. That we're talking about this.
Things that he remembers.
I know, right?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Years and years later, he'd be like, oh, I remember you. Like, how?
Yeah.
I spoke to you twice. Like, what?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I
Maybe
would
he
play
keeps notes
PIP
of everybody.
status. Yes.
I would do now. Yeah, I want to see it.
I would pay for that. I would definitely pay and eat the food so I can judge for myself.
But the whole thing about it, we're that we're saying, we want to do something sponsored because we want to make it a fun thing that everybody can be involved with and make it like a big event where we're having fun with it. Because honestly, it doesn't matter
the community
who
is
wins.
truly invested in who really cooks better. Like, come on.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter who wins. I mean, I'm going to win, but it doesn't matter who wins, right? It's just about getting people together and we get to hang out and have a good time. So we'll do it eventually. I know it's going to happen. And now that the pandemic is easing up and people can start gathering together again, we'll pay it off soon. Hopefully by next summer. That would be the goal.
Nice.
Sure.
All right. So we are reaching on our time, but we're gonna run through our topics and we kind of quickly. So we're gonna do a kind of a round robin of our showcases we had this week. I'm sure everybody noticed. We had one from Sony, we had Nintendo Direct, and we had Tokyo Game Show. So we're gonna play our good, bad, and the ugly. We're gonna name the showcase, and you're gonna say what you thought was your good, your bad, and your ugly. Everybody ready? They got their things.
I got my notes.
Okay, you got your notes. Okay,
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. All right, Parris, as our guest, you go first. And our first up is Sony. Sony's state of play for this previous week. Excuse me. What is your good, your bad, and your ugly?
My good is obviously God of War.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think that goes without saying. See, you put me on the spot now. Now I'm trying to think what my bad and my ugly is out of that. God,
hey, you plead the fifth.
I plead the fifth because I can't remember. Come back to me on that because
okay.
Come back to me on that.
All right, ladies, since you say you got your notes,
I'm gonna say God of War because
that's your good.
That's my good.
Okay.
But I have to put an honorable mention because God of War, for me, I ain't gonna lie, it looks like the previous game I played, but the story has been more, the story had grown for me. I see the dynamic between father and son now. I don't see him as a bratty little kid going through, preteen growing pains. He wants his dad to trust him. So I'm like, okay, I see. I'm sorry, is it Ishin? Like a Dragon, is that it?
Yes.
Yeah.
The new one.
Okay.
Like a Dragon Ishin.
Yeah. I mean, I like the samurai aesthetics in my games, and I feel like this goes right up my alley, and I'm interested in seeing this. There wasn't really any bad for me because I think I ain't gonna lie. The state of play was okay compared to the previous ones. The ugly, I'm gonna say, is PlayStation Stars. I would say.
What? That's one. That's their program that they're doing where you can get rewards and stuff.
Digital props or items for your, I guess it's digital. It's not even physical. If you do certain things within their eco space, you get points, and you use your points to use digital items that you can collect, I would guess. To me, that sounds like a knockoff to Microsoft Rewards, and for what they are offering is not enough for me to even participate.
Wow.
Because with Microsoft Rewards, you can do a lot. You can get coupons, you can get towards the Microsoft Store or the apparel shop, you can donate, you can
everything.
Yeah. So compared to that to PlayStation Stars, they was just ugly to me. And that's it for me.
All right, Parris, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, so I do have an ugly. I had to go back and remember. So is the exclusive DLC for the Hogwarts Legacy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I don't like that. That I don't like. I never like when third-party games have exclusive DLC stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Boogie, Delilah, which one of y'all next? Y'all ugly, good, bad, and ugly for Sony.
You can go, Boogie.
Yeah, you gotta reword that.
My bad.
LBOOGIE, uglies. What?
My bad. Y'all are gorgeous.
What happened?
Right. Sony, not so much sometimes.
Yeah, I was happy to see God of War. That was my good, just because, finally, it was just y'all know you get it and you're gonna pay us and we know it. So that's how it felt this whole time. So I'm happy that we finally got to see some more trailer footage. The bad is probably, yeah, like Parris said, the exclusivity for Hogwarts, because I'm a huge Hogwarts fan, and I already had to go through this with Destiny. And you know, Sony's out here crying about Activision, but then they doing this type of mess. So I don't get it. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And for my ugly, I'm just not a fan of Yakuza. So they got a spinoff. I guess that's going to be coming. So that's right. Yeah, it's just very toilet humor.
3 games, by the way, too. 3 different types of things. Yeah. I happen to like that.
Right, Delilah.
So yeah, my good would actually be the Yakuza stuff, but they didn't really talk about that on State of Play. So God of War, if I had to just pick only State of Play, it would definitely be the good. I thought the trailer was fantastic. I felt like they showed a little too much on the trailer, but it was good. The bad was the PSVR stuff, because like it's not backward compatible, and where is the price? Like, why they haven't announced the price of the PSVR 2 yet? And so my ugly, man, I wasn't feeling that controller. I'm sorry. So for me, the ugly is that controller. I did not like the design. They have the blue on the sides and the logo in the middle. Like, come on, y'all know I'm about symmetry. I'm a designer. I'm about symmetry. To me, the color choices, they could have picked something better there. They could have added a little bit of texture. Like, I wanted to see more with that controller, and to me, it wasn't it. It wasn't it. So that's my ugly.
So Like a Dragon is the Yakuza spinoff.
Yeah.
It was at State of Play.
Oh, it was. Oh, I didn't know they went through all of the different ones. I thought that TGS they only talked about one at State of Play, and at TGS they talked about the other 2.
Yes, but the Like a Dragon.
Like a Dragon. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
What about you, CHAREECE? I'm interested to see what.
Yeah, well, CHAREECE, what's yours?
Right? Yeah. Hate.
Right.
Actually, no. The God of War was looking kind of good. It actually makes me want to go back and replay the original God of War. That way, you get the story fresh in my head.
Yeah.
And it's also on sale on Steam, so I was thinking about picking that up. Because I still haven't dusted off my PS4. Had no plans to. The bad, I didn't really see a bad, but maybe because I wasn't really paying attention, so that might be on me also. But yes, that controller was kind of ugly. Right. And I would rather them do a custom PS5 than rather a custom controller. Like, the panels are white. People slap a sticker on it. Give me something to actually look for.
They got the extra panel, right? Yeah. You can buy purple.
I want a
space gray.
I want a design console that is official and all that jazz. I want, like, give me like a God of War special edition console. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that's what I want. If I'm gonna buy it and have to search for this thing, give me what I want. Maybe like work for it. But yeah, so that was mine. Now, next up is Nintendo Direct. You're good, you're bad, and you're ugly. Parris?
I mean, the good's gonna be Zelda, obviously. The bad and the ugly actually is twofold. Oh. Is the Golden Eye. It's not even a remake, but Golden Eye being on there, but the online being exclusive to Nintendo.
Yeah, I agree as well. I was excited that we were gonna have online play in Nintendo, and then I heard it was gonna be on Xbox. So I was like, even better, I can play it on there. And they were like, no, you can't play it on there. No online play there. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
I played the 5th on that one. I got nothing to say about that. That even shocked me. As far as
on the plus side, though, if you have the rare replay already, you get it free.
I do have rare replay.
But that's all I got for that. I'm sorry.
Okay. The thing for me is, what about Bayonetta 3?
We ain't talking about Bayonetta, so
I'm sorry.
I thought it was announced.
Yeah, it was that's the house rule, people. We don't talk about Bayonetta.
Where are the house rules at?
Just made that up. Literally just
today. Okay. Today.
I'm still upset about that. Leave me alone.
Well, that was my good, and That was my good as Bayonetta. I think I'm agree with Parris on here with the twofold, with the bad and the ugly, because I was like, do I really got to go through playing online on the Switch? And then I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna have to. I just want to see how, because the majority of the people that know GoldenEye multiplayer is early, mid, late 30s. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have the newer generation looking at this clunky game, and they're like, what is this? And then us, people in that age range, is gonna really, you're gonna find out today. And I just want to just mop some noobs on online GoldenEye.
Oh my god!
Especially
have the children crying.
They'll be all right. They'll be okay. They'll be okay. Golden Gun. I just want to do like one good Golden Gun match. So, but that's again bad and ugly a little bit, because I really thought it was going to be on Xbox. I really thought.
Boogie?
For me, I have no good.
Oh wow!
It is what it is. For the bad, I would probably say Splatoon 3, just because I don't know. I feel like it's like here. Like, why is it in the direct? And then for my ugly, it would be the Zelda game, and it wouldn't be the Zelda game itself. It's more so what they showed, because I felt like y'all just put together a bunch of flashes of pictures just to show a date, and I felt like it's direct. You should have like done more, but so that was my issue with it. But that's me personally.
Delilah?
Okay. For me, Nintendo Direct, the good was I'm hyped for Zelda and Bayonetta 3, so that would kind of be my good. Just a little bit of information. I think I can work with that. As far as my bad would have to be Octopath Traveler 2. Because my preferred platform is Xbox, and it's not on Xbox. It was announced for everything but Xbox, and I'm like, how you gonna have the first game, Octopath Traveler, on that system, but then don't put it on the sequel on that platform? It's just weird. It's like, come on. So I need Square Enix to get it together. Like, figure out what platform you want to support and just be consistent. Like, that would be my only gripe there. And that's my bad. So my ugly would be, my ugly would be what everyone's, the hoopla is about with 007. And to me, it's like,
you haven't played the story mode? You haven't played the story mode?
I've played the story years ago, 64. Like, I mean, I've played it years ago. I don't want desire. No, like, my desire is to not play that game. If for me, it's like remaster it. I mean, I don't want to see these outdated graphics. I'm sorry, I'm past that. I feel like we get so caught up and stuck in nostalgia to where we tolerate. I feel like Boogie in this instance. I'm not going back.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I'm not going back.
Talk.
I like how Parris is raising his hand. Like, that's sort of sweet.
No.
Like,
I get this one kind of funny, because if you don't raise your hand, you ain't gonna get a damn word in. But no, to your point, I agree. What I would have liked to have seen from this whole GoldenEye stuff was similar to, what was it, Halo Combat Evolved, right? Give me a remake of the game, graphical upgrade and all of that, and then have a mode where I can switch back and see what it looked like, from the early 90s as well.
Yeah,
and that's the point. Yeah, and then you can appreciate it more. Because I'm gonna be honest, probably not gonna play it because I really don't want to play raggedy graphics. I really don't. So I'm probably not gonna play it. Because to the point, I think the only people that will play it either get a quick nostalgia fix, they'll jump in and go, ooh.
Right.
Or people that are they want the achievements just to chase them. That's probably it.
That's me right here.
Okay, lady. Achievement hunter.
No, but I gotta get the GoldenEye achievement. That was a good game.
It's the only
nostalgia. It's a nostalgia.
No, it's not. No, it's not. She wants the achievements so that she can be like, I got the achievements and you don't.
Well, bragging.
I never. You think?
It's the bragging.
I mean, I do. I mean, that sounds like a you problem, because I don't think I brag a lot about my achievements. The last Elden Ring was hard. Okay, I am proud for my 100% on Elden Ring. But before that,
don't let me be the only one saying something.
I'm not in it. I'm not in it. Go ahead.
Before that was what, Road Company, when I wanted to get 100%. I think that was the last 2 games I really thought about having achievements outside that the July challenge we did when we all played all kinds of games. I don't think I'll be bragging like that. Prove me wrong, please.
I used to brag like that.
Because I finished my games. That is like your tagline. That is your tagline. Because I finished my games.
Dude, I mean, what's wrong with that?
All right. I'm gonna let it go. Let's keep going.
My good, bad, and ugly for Nintendo. I only got one good, and that is Tales of Symphonia is getting a remastered. I'm
tired of remasters and remakes.
I know, but again, that's nostalgia factor, and I'm so close to thinking about getting this game, even though I know I don't need it. The bad, Bayonetta 3, just because consistency with my hatred. And the ugly, I don't have one. I really don't have one. Nintendo is not one of my favorite consoles, so their stuff is cute. My daughter is already made out like 3-4 games that she wants, so it's not like I'm not spending money on it. It's not my type of thing that I play consistently. I did see a lot of Sims on there, so I might check those out because I do have a thing for Sims. But yes, so now to the Tokyo Game Show. Again, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And of course, we're going to start with our guest, Parris.
The good was the fact that Xbox was there and had a heavy presence there, and they're bringing more things to the platform, basically, right? Like obviously the Persona stuff, Deathloop, and obviously these other collaborations that they're doing with these Japanese studios. The bad, y'all really thought I was going to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to watch that? I was absolutely not. I was not doing that at all. Honestly, to me, there really was no ugly that came out of this, because I mean, I think it's, just forget Xbox for a second, but I just think overall is good to see more. Obviously, the Tokyo Game Show kind of coming back more in force, where I really think over the past few years it really been minimized, because I think there's definitely some gems over there, with these Asian studios that we just simply aren't aware of. So I'm glad that we're seeing more of a spotlight of that this year and probably moving forward. So I think overall it was, it's great to see Tokyo Game Show come back, and I think it's, to the Xbox point, I think it's good to see Xbox really digging their heels in over there and, trying to make an impact.
All right, Miss Lady.
Game Pass is the good. I think I don't have no bad and no uglies. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was good for me because the majority of the games that came out, most likely is gonna be on Game Pass. Look, I'm down for Deathloop. Even though I got it on PC, I'm down to see how it looks on my Series X. Look, Guilty Gear Strive. I've been wanting to play that game, but it came out on the PlayStation first, and I'm like, dang, that's cold. And my PlayStation ain't like the rest of them, and I don't want no AC 130 like in the background while I'm playing this fighting game. So for it to go on Game Pass, I'm enjoying it. I just enjoyed the presence that they had, because I think they haven't been there for a while, and it was just good to see them back.
All right. No bad, no ugly? Okay. Boogie?
So for me, my good was Oolong. I think when I saw it immediately, I put it in the chat with y'all, and we're like, yo, look at this, because everybody except for CHAREECE put in some time, or put in a lot of time on Elden Ring. I will say that she did put in some time, but it just wasn't
she put in effort enough that she doesn't get a refund on the game. So I appreciate that.
Right?
She tried.
She had like 15 hours in that game.
Right? She was like, I'm only an hour over. I can't return it. But yeah, Wulong looked great. I already downloaded the demo, so I'm ready to get into that. I too really don't have a bad or the ugly. I will say though, nitpicking a little on Overwatch's new character. I felt like this was kind of lazy, which I hate to say, because I know how development goes, but I just feel like she looks like Tracer with, I think his name is Zendada. I can't remember his name, but the guy with the robots. she's like doing his moveset, but looks like Tracer.
Felt like a reskin, huh? It seemed like a reskin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
All right, Delilah.
Ooh, okay. So my good is the game that I'm playing right now, which is Ni no Kuni. Game Pass. I did not expect that to drop same day TGS. You can download it after the show. I downloaded it immediately. That game is old. It's like 12 years old or something like that. Remaster came out in 2019. And so forward to finally hit the Xbox in 2022. I played it back when it landed on PC. So it feels great to just kind of have it on my preferred platform. Play it on my big screen. I'm enjoying it. The gameplay still loads of fun. It's graphically gorgeous. So definitely Ni no Kuni is my good. My bad and ugly, believe it or not, is Wulong, because I'm playing the demo. Yeah, I'm gonna get into it. I'm playing the demo, and there's a lot of crashes. Now, granted, they tell you that before it starts, before they even let you jump into playing through the demo. They tell you, okay, this is we're just testing out something. It's gonna crash. It tells you all this before you even jump into it, but it is frustrating. I play and it's like I'm an hour in and it'll crash, and I'm like, oh, but it auto saves, so you can continue progressing. And they did a decent job with the character creator as well for Wulong. So yeah, my bad would be the crashing for my bad.
It's funny now that you say that. Like, I'm looking at the reviews, which I swear people don't know how to review. But you're saying that they're giving you all this explanation, and then like people are giving it a 1 for the game crash.
Like, look, it's gonna, because I think what they're doing is, it seems like the results they're trying to get back from this quote unquote tech test is the connectivity things, because you can, I mean, you can have people invade your world. They took a lot of cues from Elden Ring. Like, Elden Ring got a legit competitor with this game, right? Like legit. I mean, because you can pull people into your game, you can invade people. Like, all of that, you could run past the bosses. I mean, I'm like, they just took that template, put their own spin on it, added better combat, because I think the combat is way better. Just because it's more fast paced, it's more action, like you're playing an action RPG. So yeah, that would be my bad. The crashing. That's only because it frustrates me every time I feel like I'm right up about to obtain something after defeating a few enemies, and it just all of a sudden just crash, and I gotta reboot it. But I don't. What's interesting with that, I don't, like I said, I don't lose progress, but it's just a headache. So
yeah. Well, it is just a demo.
Yeah, it's just a demo.
Like, people don't consider that as enough, but yeah. All right.
So mine is, of course, I woke up and it was candy, like all the JRPG goodness that was just drowsed all over us. That was my good. I have no bad, because that was too good to overlook all that. And the ugly.
This showcase was for you, for sure.
Oh, I was loving it. I was woken. I was making. I was like, oh my god, look at this. Yeah. Delilah was like, look at this trailer. Like, girl, I already turned on my Xbox trying to download this stuff. I am way ahead of you.
Have you tried Ni no Kuni yet?
No, because again, then I had to get up and leave.
Oh, that's right. You're on vacation. My bad.
Right. Poor you.
I know.
Right. You're at the beach. Okay.
It's pretty out there. It's pretty too. But yes, so we're gonna have one more topic before we end our show today with our guest. And it's not as joking as the previous one, but yes. In today's age, when gaming news is literally in our hands, do we really need a gaming network? If people did not know, this previous week, there were layoffs at G4 TV, because they came back last year, and they had a channel on Twitch. They have a YouTube channel. They, of course, have streams on, I think, also Facebook. I've caught a few. I don't know. I'm not really sure on that. Don't quote me. That might be just somebody placing it on there. But they have a Twitter feed. They have their personalities. But I don't want to say any of the personalities on the show got laid off, but the people behind the cameras. I'm not totally sure on that, so do not quote me. But do we even need G4 TV nowadays when we can literally get news?
Last fan media.
Yes, like, yeah. Or is it just nostalgia? As y'all were saying, when it comes to the GoldenEye, like, I'm not playing that. Are we watching G4? So
are we watching G4 because of nostalgia, basically? Is what you're saying?
Yes. Or is it needed? Like, is it needed? I don't know, because I didn't watch G4 as a growing up. I didn't have.
I did. I loved it. I loved G4. They had, and then before that they had Tech TV. It was awesome. You know.
Well, you know why you watched them? Because that was the only choice
thing you had. Right.
And that's the thing now, where, and I probably should be pleading the fifth on this, but I'm gonna say it anyways. You know, full disclosure, Danny Pena works at G4. So obviously I do have a personal stake in all of this from that aspect. And I feel terrible for all the people that got laid off this week and previously. They got laid off from G4, and we even just saw Fanbyte earlier this week as well. There were big layoffs as well. But to that point, do we need these big sites for gaming media anymore? Yes, but mostly no. Like, IGN is not going to go anywhere. They're just way too big at this point, and they have their tentacles in everything, even outside of gaming, just into entertainment as a whole. But what we have now with technology, Marquise Brownlee, I had this example I bring up all the time. Marquise Brownlee, who's a big YouTuber, tech guy, right? And you obviously just reviewed the iPhone, all that stuff. He is literally doing a series right now on YouTube where he's reviewing these electric cars, and all of the production is his phone. The video, everything is the phone. And that's the point. We all have a voice now online. We can all create content, put out news, do whatever, be comedian, whatever we want to do online, we can do now because we all have the technology to be able to do it. This very show is an example of that. And to that point, when you see these YouTube personalities and you see these streamers that are pulling in millions of views with a fraction of the budget that it would take for something like a G4 to be able to pull off at the same time, because, you know, G4 got the big giant studio. Like, I got to tour G4 and I can see it's all very impressive, trust me. But it's also kind of a relic of the past too, because to your point, I watched Tech TV, I watched all that stuff back in the day, but that was your only outlet to be able to get that. So millions of people were tuning in to watch that stuff. Whereas now you could have, as an example, Skill Up, who's, you know, he's a friend of mine. He's great. He's an amazing YouTube content creator. Well, his gaming reviews, his production values, his content is amazing. And does he have a team? Of course he does, but it's a small team compared to all the people that you would need to put on a production at something like G4. And that's the whole point. Even Kind of Funny is another example of that, where Kind of Funny is a fraction of the people that it would take to run something like IGN or to run something like G4, but we're still reviewing the games, we're still putting out content, we're doing all the same things, right? So it's unfortunate when you see a site like G4 get people laid off. You see all these people at Fanbyte get laid off, and there's been other examples, you know, over the past couple of years as well, where you're seeing these massive layoffs like Future, just, you know, at the media level. But I think it's just a sign of where gaming media is headed, where you don't necessarily need the big Polygons and the IGNs of the world to be able to get your news. I'll be honest with you, when I get up in the morning, I look at Twitter. I look at Twitter. Okay, what happened? Yeah. Right? You know, that's where I'm getting my information from. Yeah. You don't have to, versus having to wait for a show to air at 5 o'clock. That's going to tell me the same exact thing that I knew 3 hours ahead of time. You know what I mean? So it's an unfortunate, it's a shift. People will adapt, things will change, but I think we are going to see the gaming media be a lot more agile now. You're going to see smaller staffs. You're going to see the technology that's being used doesn't have to be on this big scale to be able to deliver the content that we're used to getting now, because we're already seeing it. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, I would agree. And also just say that I think that we do need gaming news from other outlets besides just IGN, Polygon, Kotaku. So I do think we do need that in the industry. But I think that the way that they approached their return was just very old fashioned, right? Like, they try to come back almost exactly how they were, and that just doesn't work in today's landscape. Yeah. So this may be a good thing for them, even though unfortunately people have to lose their jobs. Maybe someone said, okay, this is not working, let's scale down in these areas and start to adopt more of a, you know, like, this person puts out their content on a regular basis, you know what I mean? Not maybe not like a show like they've been doing where it's running constantly, right? Like someone's always providing content, but more like this person has a weekly show. And then make sure that they're presenting news, right, to everyone on Twitter, social media, stuff like that. That I think will work better for them and keep G4, here.
And the other thing, and I'm not trying to pick on G4, but I think it's a classic example of what you're talking about. They tried to bring back something that worked 20 years ago, whereas the landscape has completely changed. When G4 and Tech TV and all that stuff was around, there wasn't a YouTube, there was no Twitch, there wasn't all these platforms, whereas they came back doing the same format, but now you're putting on a platform where you're literally competing against thousands of other creators at the same time. Right. So what makes your content any different than the content that we're doing right now? Other than maybe your production value is a little higher, but the actual information that you're consuming is still the same. What's different about it? Nothing. So yeah, there's just, like I said before, you just have to adapt to the field that you're in. And like you're saying, maybe G4 looked at it and realized, all right, we can accomplish the same things with a smaller team of people doing it. We don't need all these people and these high production values to be able to basically deliver the same exact thing. And the other part, and I know G4 is on was it Pluto TV and stuff like that, but back in the day, they were on a major cable network.
Right.
Whereas now you're coming onto the internet. Like I said, it's a wild, wild west on the internet. You're competing against everybody when it comes to that. Look, you ain't competing against you ain't competing against I don't know a TV show. You ain't competing against Dallas or Falcon Crest. You competing against everybody.
He brought out right? Dallas. Oh my God, Parris.
I'm old, so I remember. Yeah.
Hey, no, he could be talking about the new one they did. See.
He ain't talking about the new one.
He's not talking
I'm talking about the old one. I'm talking about who
okay. I was trying to save you. But yes, anybody else want to speak on this topic? Oh, y'all ain't
seen
wrong.
this before though, because I think about I think Xbox had a similar situation happen years ago with them downsizing their media and tech teams and pulling certain things. We saw it with Mixer. How Mixer had their whole media groups and stuff like that. They downsized that. We've seen this before.
Isn't Facebook downsizing as well?
Facebook's downsizing.
They haven't really let anyone go though, right?
Not yet. Well, we don't
know. Because I kind of touched on it last week, and what I was saying is that they're shutting down their app, right? But this doesn't necessarily mean doom and gloom. And the only reason why I say that is because on the regular Facebook app, they've now integrated the gaming portion.
They instead of
so you know how on Twitter how you can switch between your regular personal account and any other accounts that you have access to. So that's how it is on Facebook now. So I can switch from my regular personal account to my gaming account and then see that thread and stream and everything from there.
Yeah,
it may not be doom and gloom, but
maybe. Yeah. All right, we are almost coming to the close of our show. We do a couple of questions, just a couple.
See any questions?
Oh yeah.
Ask them.
My bad. Well, we're getting our tidbits together. Big letter question, and then your question afterwards. We're already gonna
You get a solid 2. Chad, we got company now. So don't be asking. I will gloss over your question like you didn't even ask.
Right.
All right. Well, while ladies getting our questions, anybody has any tidbits? Parris, our tidbits for is usually if we watch a new show, if we read a new book, if you just want to tell the chat and us anything new that is popped off in pop culture. This is your time to share.
Okay, I got 2.
Okay.
Actually, ironically enough, both are on Netflix. Definitely watch Cyberpunk Edge Runners. It's really good. If you're in anime at all, I was I thought, okay, it'd be okay, but no, this is actually really, really good. Yeah. Like it's one of the better animes I've seen in a long time.
I've heard that, actually.
And the other one is I just finished Cobra Kai season 5.
That's already?
Yeah.
I know they're putting it out. They're flooding. I feel like y'all are flooding it a little bit. But
I even said it on Twitter yesterday, and people was roasting me, but people were disagreeing with me. I just thought it was okay this season. This seemed like honestly probably the weakest of all the seasons. Like I feel like, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but look, when you get to the point where these kids can grow a better beard than I can. I think they're
no longer teenagers.
Y'all grown.
And I think what made Cobra Kai so great for me, what I really enjoyed it, I got into it was told from Johnny's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you remember season 1, Daniel was almost like a villain in season 1, which I thought was cool. Whereas now, and I'm not spoiling anything, but honestly, it's just the Daniel LaRusso show again. And I'm kind of that's not why I tuned into it. So I don't know. I'd be interested to see what people think about Cobra Kai if they go watch it, but definitely watch Edge Runners. Yeah. That was really, really good.
I watched the first 3 seasons of Cobra Kai, I think.
Yeah, it was after 3 that I was like, okay.
Yeah, I kind of.
And that's kind of the point. I almost feel like you were telling Johnny's redemption story, right?
Yeah.
And now they've done that, and I feel like, okay, they're just trying to keep it going at this point. And it just, I mean, not that I dislike it, but it's definitely not as good as it was in those first 3 seasons. And these kids too old. They too grown now. They in their 40s out there trying to play like they're 15.
Mm-hmm. That's standard Hollywood, though.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Any other tidbits?
I'm still on with Bizarre, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure as a noob, and I thought season 2 was gonna be over at episode 25. They was like, "No, you still got like 20 more episodes." I'm like, I had to take a break. I love the animation. I really dig the soundtrack. For someone, and really appreciate our gaming / anime culture, because for someone who hasn't been familiar with the series, is having more people opening up and letting me in, like, hey, you never watched it? Oh, well, wait till you get here. Oh, and then I get the memes now. And it's a show called Sins of the Mother on Netflix. It's a little dark, but it shows, I would say in the best way possible, a rift between a family and someone's beliefs and things. And if you like, it's a crime drama, and I watched it a couple episodes. It's kind of deep, but if you feel in a certain kind of way, you can watch it. And I understand if people don't, but that's what I was watching. Yes.
All right.
Me now.
Anybody else?
Who you want? All right, for me, I'll go since I'm ready, I guess. As a foodie, Chef's Table Pizza on Netflix. I started watching it the other night, and it's really good. Really talks about how we started to get more of the Neapolitan style pizza in America. And just, they go into all different, like Italian, different types of ways of making pizza and stuff. So I don't know. Y'all know I got my little uni outside. I make pizzas. Yeah. So now I'm really like getting into, Look, Parris, you have no idea. See, I'm gonna have to show you a picture of my backyard and everything. Like I really like to think I'm out here doing it, but it's just fun.
I think you are. I believe
you are too.
Okay.
I really like. Honestly, I keep telling myself I need to get like a little stand and start recording myself when I'm cooking. But so there's that show, and then the Great British Bake Off new season started on Netflix. So if you like that type of stuff, that's there. And if you aren't watching Ring of Power, Game of Thrones, you're missing out. Great shows. That's it for me.
All right, so for me,
go ahead. Oh, you had a little pause, so
I was really thinking about it because I'm enjoying the Game of Thrones, the prequel or whatever. I think it's good. I mean, it still hasn't hit its stride yet, I think. But I love the characters. I think they're doing a good job as far as acting. And I'm going blank on my other one. I had a tip and it's kind of slipped my mind now. So someone else can go and I'll just kind of, hopefully it'll come back to me.
All right. My tidbit is that Genshin Impact is getting an anime.
Anyway, you real happy about that?
I am so happy about that. I literally, as we got back here to the hotel, I was like, leave me alone. I gotta watch this trailer. And I went and hid in the bedroom, closed the door with my little phone this close to my head, and watched the trailer. Yeah, I was happy. Any other tidbits while we get into these questions?
I can't for life of me remember mine. Tidbit, yeah. It'll come to me. Go ahead.
Okay. I think we got one from Rangy 4, our head of security at Grown Women Gaming. So thank you for coming through. How the panel feel about the Little Mermaid backlash?
Ooh.
Yo, I had no problem with My Little Mermaid. Okay, I love me some Ariel. I'll tell you right now, that's my favorite Disney princess. It don't matter to me. It's a certain type of people that got upset about that, and that's a them problem, not a me problem. I think everybody in my circle really appreciated, and I think she did her thing, especially that little run.
I haven't even seen the movie yet. Like, I'm like, can the movie come out first?
Well, they were mad when they announced it, and it's like, why are you mad again when we had the trailer? Because you already knew it wasn't a possibility that they changed, right?
I can tell you why.
Okay.
Because when the trailer
with the T.
Well, it always does, but it was because you saw she's going to be really good.
Right.
That's why people are so outraged. When she started singing, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna be up in the theater with tissue about to cry."
Church.
Yeah. So that's why because she's not gonna fail. Going back to something we were originally talking about before, when one of us are put in a position like that, we got to be 2 times better than we need to be, and she's probably gonna be 3 times better, and that's why. And they see it, they go, "Oh my God, she's gonna nail it, and people are gonna love it. Let me be outraged now."
And then we're gonna have to see more of this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's why.
Agree.
That's all it is.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I'll just add this, that it took 70 years for little black girls to get Princess Tiana. 70 years.
Could you imagine?
Okay.
Could you imagine if social media was around? And I forget if it was the 90s. I forget when it was, but when they introduced a black Barbie, I forget how long ago that was.
Oh
imagine
my God.
social media was
I
around.
remember that. I had that doll.
92, 91, 92. I'm gonna tell you right now, around that area.
Yeah.
They did not like that, but I'm gonna tell you what, my mom bought me all those dolls.
I had one.
My mom bought me all those dolls.
I had my black Ken and my black Barbie.
Yeah, my only thing with the Little Mermaid stuff, and I've even said it online already, is like mermaids aren't real. Sorry, Daryl Hannah isn't really a mermaid. Okay, for anybody that's know what I'm talking about with Splash.
But you're really telling your age now. You really.
Yeah. I love that movie when I was a kid. but mermaids aren't real. There is no, like, I don't know if you saw that clip where the one dude was trying to argue it is unscientific to say that you're going to be dark skinned as a mermaid. I'm like, bruh.
Yeah, somebody was like, why would you need melanin underwater? Yeah. Like, wow.
Oh my God.
So why do fish have color?
It's like maybe, just maybe, they casted the best person for the role and they weren't worrying about her skin tone. Because honestly, I wouldn't have cared if she was white. I wouldn't have cared if she's Asian. Black, it doesn't matter. If she could sing her ass off and she's great, do it. She's literally talking to fish and lobsters and stuff. It's like, who cares? I'll never understand it. I'll never understand why people try to gatekeep stuff like that so much based off of, well, she's too dark. Who cares if she's good? You know?
Yeah, I know one thing that stood out to me was people making all the memes comparing the other ethnicities that was replaced by races in the past. I thought that was interesting. That just all the different people just putting up memes, trying to replace this with that. And I'm like, this happens in Hollywood all the time where they try to replace people and put people in. But this is different. I mean, her race has nothing to do with the story of the Little Mermaid.
That part.
Ain't nothing.
She's a mermaid. That's the only thing that matters. As long as she's a mermaid.
And she can sing because she has to sing.
Yeah, she has to be able to sing.
And the CG look good. The CG look good. Cut it out.
Oh yeah.
But it's like to your point on that, like you said, the memes. It's like that freaking Elizabeth Taylor was Cleopatra. We know Cleopatra was not white. It's like, come on.
We know.
Like, there's people that really think that that's how Egyptians look. I'm like, even today, like what they look like is not what they look like then. People.
No.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Another question. Last question.
Last question. Okay. They scroll too fast. They flooding us.
Yeah. They asked. Yeah. You got to. Well, it's 4 questions now.
Okay, well, I'll get to the second one. How would you feel about the third rendition of the game Rygar? Both 1 and 2 were amazing. A third rendition would be a day one for me.
I don't know that one.
I don't know that game at all. You might have to like say.
Wait. Now, I remember the name. Wasn't that like that? That's like 80s, right? Isn't that like NES or an arcade?
That was Sega. That's Sega, isn't it?
Was it Sega?
Hold on, we gonna Google real quick.
Yeah, I gotta Google that one.
Rygar, Sega. Yeah.
I know that name.
RYGAR.
Like
RYGR, but that's 80s. That's definitely 80s.
Oh, wow.
1986.
Oh wow, yeah, they took it back.
For the PlayStation 2 and Wii game.
It was on Wii game.
That's what it said.
Is that Sega?
Yeah, Tecmo came out from Tecmo. You know, it was on. I was right. It was on NES. Yeah, showing my age again. Yeah.
I can't cap. I'm not aware. I didn't know this game existed till right now. So
yeah.
But can I say this though, to slightly tangent off of that, and it kind of goes to, we were talking before about Tokyo Game Show, and some of you brought up Game Pass. This is why I'm always talking about Game Pass and the great value that it is, because I remember Rygar, but I didn't play it. Wanna know why I didn't play it? Because my mama was like, hell no, I ain't buying you no damn game. That's why. I never got a chance to play it. I was aware of it, but didn't have the opportunity to actually play that game. And that's the whole point, that this generation that you see people with all this ridiculous outrage online is like, during my era, I'd be lucky if I got 1 or 2 games a year. Lucky.
Christmas and your birthday.
I mean, just to the whole theme of what we've been talking about, you would probably have more Black people in the game space if something like Game Pass was available when we were younger. Because
that's the point.
We didn't have access.
That's the point. I've said the story before, but my Christmas story Red Ryder BB gun moment is Christmas 1985. My mom bought me the NES deluxe set with Rob the Robot, Duck Hunt, and Gyromite. Wow,
you had Rob the Robot?
That is the greatest Christmas gift I ever got. Never expected it, never asked for it, because I never thought I was going to get it, right? So the fact that my mom, for whatever reason, had the foresight, she probably hustled it, who knows? But the fact that she was able to
somebody
get
came into work with one.
Yeah, and got me that for Christmas. I mean, like I said, that was freaking 30 years ago, however long, 35 years ago, and it's still, that moment sticks with me. So to your point, if we had more moments like that for the Black community to get into gaming, because it's not a cheap hobby, right? Get into, we probably would have more game developers. We probably would have more people at the publishing level and the leadership level in this industry, because they would have grown up with it more. Whereas back then, like I said, if I got Mario or something, I was happy just to have that, because we didn't get exposed to all these different genres and other games because we simply couldn't afford to, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. Game Pass for the win, baby.
I already told you, I'm eating good over here.
Hey, like I said, my daughter be like, Mama, can I get this game? I'm like, is it on Game Pass?
Is it on Game Pass?
Hey, but I will say this about Game Pass. As much as I talk about it's a great value and I obviously believe in the service, Xbox Game Studios got to start delivering next year. And they know it. They know it. They obviously know it, but they got to start delivering games next year. They have to, because, the pandemic.
Right? Where's the
AAA? I get it. There's delays, pandemic, stuff has changed and all that. But there's not going to be excuses next year. I mean, when Starfield Redfall come out, they need to come out. They better be good. And Forza, the rest, and then obviously on the back half of whatever 2023 is going to be. And then they got to start being consistent with it. They got to start you're going to have like 30 something studios when Activision, they acquire that. They got to deliver. I mean, that's just as simple as that.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Lottie. I'm sorry.
I had a question for Parris, since I know he's it's kind of off topic, but y'all know I'm an NFL fan, and he's a Tampa Bay Bucks fan.
I know what's coming. Yeah.
How do you feel about the NFC South and y'all chances of the Saints? They got better. I feel like the Falcons got better because I'm biased. So how do you feel about your team's chances this? In the NFC
we should win it. We should win it.
Okay, hold your horses. I'm talking about across the entire NFL. Like, what's your score prediction for your team this season?
You mean as far as our record?
Record. Sorry.
13-4, I think.
Oh, you're real optimistic.
Oh wow!
We were 13-4 last year. What? I'm keeping it what it was.
Is it because? But your old line is not. Well, we can talk about that offline. But Yeah.
I know our O-line is banged up. Donovan Smith probably misses his game against New Orleans, but he'll be back. But other than that, I mean, yeah, we don't have Jensen. We lost our center, but Hainsey was going to be his replacement anyways. And he was a high draft pick. People seem to think they picked him up like he was an undrafted free agent. We'll be fine. It's Tom. Look, if Tom doesn't get hurt, we got Evans. Godwin will be. I'm talking end of the year, but Godwin will be back to being Godwin. We got Julio. We have a luxury.
That hurts so bad. The fact that
the one I like with you being a Falcon fan, I was so happy when we got Russell Gage. That dude,
he's so underrated. He's so underrated.
He terrified me when he was with Atlanta. Absolutely terrified me. He's very underrated. But no, I think we'll go 13-4. It would not shock me if we lose to New Orleans tomorrow, just because without having Donovan Smith, Cameron Jordan's, he's going to be feasting. I already know it. So Tom's going to struggle. But our defense, see, the thing that people don't realize about the Bucs, that defense that held Pat Mahomes to 9 points in the Super Bowl, they weren't healthy all last year. Mm-hmm. If you saw what they just did to Dak, I'm just saying.
We'll see.
Defense is going to be there. I'm just saying. I think 13-4.
We beat y'all. You know that, right? I'm not going to talk some trash.
Because here's the thing about my team, and yeah, I'm biased. We are a Tristan Wirfs injury in the playoffs away from repeating. We had that dude. Von Miller ain't doing what he did against us. We would have beat the Rams, we'd have beat the 49ers, we'd have beat the Bengals, and we'd have won the Super Bowl again. Just saying. We got a great. See, my dog agrees. See how my dog even agrees. He was like, "Don't be talking bad about my team."
All right, cool. All right, that was my question. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. I think I got one more question. Y'all always late with the questions. We initially asked, it'd be like one or two.
Yeah, but we already said we was only gonna do a few.
Yeah, so one more. Abacab 72. What is the best headset would you recommend that you can use for both Xbox Series X and a PlayStation 5?
That's everybody, right?
I saw that one myself, and I was trying to rack my brain to think. I almost feel like, because you're saying for both, so you want to be interchangeable.
Mm-hmm. That's tough.
If I had to recommend, I might say the Astro 820, just because you can, but you still got to get both dongles. You don't have a universal dongle for both.
Yeah,
yeah, it's tough. Maybe an Astro 840 because you can play. I don't know. That's a tough one. That works on both.
Yes,
that makes it hard.
Yeah,
because they got a ton of great exclusives.
And you can play
on Astros. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, the Astros are they're known for being really good and long lasting, tough. Great quality and whatnot.
Yeah.
I have these Sony wireless headsets that I use, and they're great. I mean, but I have to Bluetooth in order to have it work on everything, which is kind of it's a little bit of a workaround, but they're still pretty good. And I think they call it WX3000 or something like that. Really weird name, but very good.
Right. I don't know. For me, I'm just gonna go with what I know, and I'm gonna say HyperX because for the last 5 years when I only had an Xbox and the PlayStation, it was the HyperXs that I can be able to use on both consoles, and for me, they were durable. I really it took me year 5 to be okay, I really had to put them down, so that's for me too. So
I can tell you what not to buy. That'll be Turtle Beach. My hair broke 3 pairs of those. So I
don't know. When I first got into the headphone game, they were like, "Oh, go get you some Turtle Beaches."
Yeah, right.
Go get you some Turtle Beaches, and it was trash. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I probably wasted money on 3 of them.
Same.
They had me at 2.
Well, my husband bought 1 pair, so that's on him. But my hair broke all 3 of them. When I the big afro out, nope, cracked it. So anything suggestions I have, I always go to the ladies, and then I just buy what they tell me to buy. So I go to them. But yes, is that all of our questions for today?
So
yeah, that is it. I'm so sorry. I know y'all had some questions, but we do have our guest here, and we do have our host that's on vacation technically, so we have to keep it moving.
Yeah, the girl getting hungry. It's 4 o'clock coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, we're getting ready to do our outros. Parris, tell everybody where they can find you. Yes.
Sure. You can find me over at Gamertag Radio, so gamertagradio.com. And you can also find me over at Kind of Funny. So what is that? YouTube.com/ or just go to kindoffunny.com. Easy. Yeah.
I've got the links in the description. So
yeah.
All right. That's all you want to say?
Khalif can't cook. There you go. There. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
All right then. We're gonna go back and start. Lady.
I want to thank everybody that came through today, showed us much love here on the show. Thank you, Parris, for taking time out your busy schedule, come hang out with us. It was very enlightening and educational. I really appreciate you coming through. We're gonna play something on the YouTube.
You streaming?
I might. It depends. Probably today, tomorrow. It depends really how I feel. Either Fortnite or Sekiro. And you can check me out at Lady Infamous 415 on YouTube. You can check me at my side piece, aka Twitter, Guardian 8 Banana Collector. We're just gonna do what we do. Be kind to each other, be kind to yourself, keep it civil, and just play these video games. That's why they're here for.
All right, Boogie.
All right. Y'all can catch me on Twitter, LBOOGIE0208, everywhere, pretty much every platform I'm on. That's what my name is. Thank you to Parris. Hopefully we'll see you next week in some cap sessions on those spaces. And yeah, I think have a beautiful weekend, everybody. What? Yeah. What?
First of all, because I didn't say it before, thank you all for having me on here. I really appreciate it. I've had a great time being on here. I gotta address the spaces thing real quick though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like there's certain spaces I'll go into that have some of the craziest damn headlines you will ever see. Yes. And people love to screenshot them and go, look, he's console warring. Look at what he's doing. He's such a hypocrite. Yeah. But if anyone actually goes in there and listens to what I'm saying, I'm actually disagreeing with the crazy ass title, and I'm trying to bring some freaking knowledge to the conversation. Right. Like, well, you may think this, but I disagree because of X, Y, and Z, right? That's all I'm ever doing in there. But I've learned to not worry about what people think. So I will continue to go in them crazy ass spaces, and I will continue to give my 2 cents.
It's needed because, like I call them, cap sessions.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing in there. That's it.
I'm like, it's 5 a.m. Right?
Y'all don't have work today?
I'm getting ready to go to work, do what I need to do to go to work. And then I just think with the spaces, it gets a little overboard. And I understand, different, opinions, but sometimes it can get toxic, it can get rude, it can get disrespectful. Mm-hmm. And then I exit stage left because I don't need it.
Yeah. If I can say one more thing on that, being serious for a second, because if you notice, the spaces I go into is us, right? Mm-hmm. Those are the ones I go into. And part of that is I try to, when I say drop a little educational knowledge or whatever, just from my experience, is the rule that like Danny and I always say is you never know who's paying attention to you, right? You never know who's watching. You never know what you're saying. And there's I shouldn't say an old saying, but there's a saying that with the internet, you can't take pee out the ocean. I know it's crude, but the point on that is once you put something out there, it is out there. You can't take it back. So when you putting these crazy ass tweets out and you saying all this sensational stuff online, someone's seen that. Basically, there's a receipt being pulled on what you say or do, right? So I try to go in these spaces, like there's some cats in there that say some crazy stuff, but they're coming at it from a very passionate place, right? And I try to be like, look, you can still get that same point across without acting a fool. I always say, the minute you start acting a fool online, there's an opportunity that you could have had that is being taken away from you and you won't even know it.
Exactly.
And it's not about, you can't criticize something, you can't state your opinion, but when you go online acting a fool and you just start doing all this crazy stuff, somebody's paying attention to it. Trust me when I tell you that, right? Yeah. And you're just limiting yourself on the opportunities that you want, because what I've realized with a lot of these people that do in these 5 a.m. spaces is they want those opportunities. They want to be able to review a game from PlayStation or Xbox or get this thing or whatever, and they're too proud to admit it. So then they just say a bunch of crazy stuff thinking, oh, I'm never going to get the opportunity. Whereas it going back to my point I said earlier, work on your craft, try to do things the right way in this space. You never know.
Right.
And that's all you can do. So that's why I'm in those crazy ass spaces. But people love to screenshot it and never actually listen to what I say, which makes me laugh.
All right, Delilah.
Yeah, you all know you can follow me on Twitter at Delilah_HD. Catch me right here on GWG. And thanks everybody out for rocking out with us. We appreciate it. Thank you, Parris, for joining us. And yeah, we'll catch y'all on the next one.
All right. And of course, this is your girl CHAREECE here. Parris, again, thank you for coming through. This has been an excellent conversation. Dropped some gems, gave some knowledge. We had some laughs. Cannot ask you for any more or any less. It was awesome. But yes.
Thank you.
Again, it's your girl CHAREECE here. Finna go enjoy the rest of my vacation. We finna go do some shopping.
Have fun.
I know, right? When we get you something.
I know you will.
Yes, y'all.
Right here.
Y'all be nice to each other. Tell somebody you love them. Tell them to have cute shoes. I don't care. Just be nice to folks. Go out there and get them wins. Make sure to wash your hands, wash your ass, and wear a mask if possible. But yes, have a good weekend, and we'll see y'all next week.